Hello, 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 hello. Where are you, my friends? We are live on Facebook. Nice to see you all. It's Trish Carr with Women's Prosperity Network, and I am here today with another episode of Be Real, Get Real with the Women of Women's Prosperity Network. And let me say, happy International Women's Day. This is the day that women flourish and women thrive, and where we stand together in arm to show the world the difference that we make. And this year's theme for Women's Day is inclusion. It's including the voices of all women from all walks of life, regardless of economics, religion, background, education, experience. All women's voices are heard and respected. So inclusion is today, and this is the picture we want to put out is our little hearts. So happy Women's Day, everybody, and happy Women's Day to my guest, Elisa Calosso. I'm so happy that you are here with me today. How are you today?
Thank you, Trish. I'm wonderful today. And what a better day to be with you celebrating International Women's Day.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you are here. For those of you who don't yet know Elisa, you are going to be in for a real treat because Elisa is a coach that works with women to avoid that burnout, to avoid that loss of energy, to avoid that overwhelm. And she works with people using different modalities and different tactics, and they work. Not only that, this woman has a master's degree, a bachelor's degree. She's a human resources professional with certifications all over. And this woman knows human beings. That's the truth. So that's who we are. And that's what we need is a person who understands us as a human, not just as the woman who works, not just as the woman who has family, not just as a woman who runs a business, but the whole totality of us. So, Elisa, it is a pleasure to have you here with me today.
Likewise, Trish, very excited to be here celebrating this day and also talking about us. I think it's very important we as women to keep supporting each other, to
Yes.
include ourselves. Like it's the celebration of being inclusive. And it's, yeah, being
Yeah.
human and respecting each other
Well,
for all the roles that we do because we have so
exactly.
many roles.
We do. We do. And we juggle a lot of things. And in this conversation, it's about the people behind the business because we do business with people. We don't do business with business. So the more we can find out about each other as the real person, the more affinity we have, the more trust we have, the more know like we have. So you work with women in burnout, and I know from conversation that this passion for supporting women before they get to burnout, before it happens, started with your own journey. So can you tell us a little bit about what happened for you?
Yes, it started with my own journey. And for many years, I worked in corporate America in human resources, was very successful. I had many roles. And while I was having those successes and roles and getting promotions, I was suffering in the background. And I felt very lonely in my journey because, of course, there was some shame. There was also no way for me to demonstrate what I was going through because I had to keep being this strong lady. And especially in human resources, where you have to interact with so many people, so many departments, and you have to be there for others, supporting others. So how I was gonna look for this in others. So it was, yeah, and there was also I think some, like I said, shame and it wasn't really acceptable at that moment. I think nowadays there is more awareness about mental health, there is more support, but there is still the stigma.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about all the time, oh, mental health, and everybody's getting so enlightened about a mental health. But the reality is, I don't think there's an acceptance or an embrace of people with mental health issues. And you said
No.
that you were dealing, so when you think about what you were experiencing, so we call it burnout, but you were having some of the symptoms you were experiencing, I know, was anxiety. What else were you experiencing?
Anxiety, panic attacks, insomnia, physical pain. So
And
a lot of,
all of that was related to work.
yeah, it was related to work. That was a big thing going on. But also, I had some family issues that I was going through that at the moment, I wasn't really paying much attention to. I was so
Mhm.
much focused on my job because it brought me so much joy. But then when that situation in my relationship changed, then I guess I didn't have the time to process that and to deal with that. And then that's when everything really got worse for me. When it was supposed to get better, right? Because I
Right.
already dealt with that, but not necessarily in the way that I needed to process it.
And you were seeking help from medical professionals, right? I mean, you knew that something, you had physical pain, you had panic attacks, you weren't sleeping. So you knew there was something going on physically. What were they able to do for you in the medical field?
I went to a lot of doctors, from my primary doctor to my neurologist, even to a sleep doctor. I was just tired of going to so many doctors. I was so desperate that I wanted to try whatever it could give me some kind of peace of mind, relaxation, and sleep, because I was to the point of being so desperate, not having enough sleep. And unfortunately, in my journey, I wasn't able at the beginning to find answers, like immediate answers. And all I was given was a prescription medication, and to the point that they were just increasing it. But I wasn't really working on the root, on, whatever was going on with me. It was just this band-aid that they were trying to put on me to make me feel a little bit better. But in reality, I wasn't feeling better.
No,
And it
it
was,
didn't help. And then I remember reading you saying that you went to your neurologist. And what did your neurologist tell you? That what did they say?
I don't know what else to do with you, Elisa, other than increase your dosage. She was pretty much losing hope on me. And I remember that day when I left the office, I was so devastated. Like, wow, she lost hope in me, and there is nothing else she can do about my problem. So at that moment, although I was very frustrated, devastated, with no hope, I just prayed and said, there has to be something I can do. I cannot just give up.
Right.
So that's when I think my journey started, and I decided I need to do something for myself. I need to take my power back. And I know doctors, you know, they are here to help us, and no judgment, of course. But I think I was depending a lot on what they were telling me. But I also needed to start being empowered to look for those answers myself.
There
So
you
that
go.
was my wake up call.
So what did you do?
So it wasn't like an immediate solution to the problems, but to my problem. But I started to go investigate more into holistic health. Um, I started trying supplements. I started going to different alternative health practitioners, and At the beginning, it was very overwhelming because I was going everywhere, calling everybody and trying to try everything. So I had to stop myself doing that, although I was in desperation. And I started to do the things that really started working for me. So first, I started with the life coaching certification, which really helped me start asking questions. And that's how I started this work.
Oh, we lost Elisa. She must have hit a button. Yeah, she talks about, first of all, let me just say that if you're somebody who deals with panic attacks, anxiety, insomnia, and who doesn't, right? I have anxiety, only it manifests as a fast heartbeat, and I don't know that I'm anxious about anything. It's because I repress whatever it is that's making me anxious. I pretend it's not bothering me, and it's okay, but it manifests in my body. My heart rate will go up. It doesn't happen all the time, but I know that because I repress my anxiousness, it's physically doing something in my body. And that's what was happening for Elisa. She felt like, and especially suffering in silence, we talk about mental health and we talk about people, it's okay to get the help. You're supposed to get the help. And here she is again. And I was saying that while you were gone, that, you know, we all hear that, get help for your mental situation. But when you go to the doctor says, here's a pill. The doctor's not saying go to a psychologist or go see somebody who can support you in that. So you have to find your own answers. And I know that for you, just like for me, Louise Hay made a big difference for you, yes?
Yes, she did. And actually, she was the first one that I found in my journey. And I remember one day I was at work and I just got married. I came back from my honeymoon and I was getting back to work. And then I didn't feel happy. And I questioned myself, but I'm supposed to be happy. It's the happiest time in my life. I just got married, when came back from my honeymoon, and then I decided to look online for the word happiness and how to find happiness. And then
Because you can
Louise
find
Hay,
everything online, can't you? You can find happiness online.
happiness. So I found the work of Louise Hay and I started to read about her. I started to follow her on social media, read her quotes, and then I read her book, You Can Heal Your Life. And so that was one of the first book I read about self-help, self-development, and that really resonated because it's like, okay, there are things in my journey that I need to pay attention to that honestly no medication is going to solve for me. And I need to start doing the work and find out why I'm here, why I got to this point. So yes.
Yeah, and that puts you on a journey to being an EFT practitioner, to working
Yeah.
with people to bring them out of this kind of challenge that we're going through. And because you're right, we suffer in silence. And the
Yes.
more of us that come out and say, look, I get anxiety, I am having insomnia, and knowing that a pill is a great easer to kind of get you to the point, but you still need to work on the issues. And that's exactly what you did.
Right. And nothing against medication. I think medication sometimes it is needed.
Correct. I
It's
agree.
good it's good to help you with the symptoms, but it's not the only solution. So while you take your medication, and I had to take medication for some time, but I knew I didn't want to become dependent on the medication and I didn't want to be in the medication for a long time. So I was
Right.
very resistant and also afraid because I'm very sensitive and medications don't work with me very well. Like I get really bad side effects. So I had to be conscious of that.
Mhm.
So that's why I look into other alternatives. And I also got into yoga to the point of being certified because I liked it so much and I wanted to
Oh,
bring this I did it for myself, and then I also uh, added it to my practice, and that's how I started, like life coaching, then yoga, and then EFT tapping. I remember one day I was online, and I also was like with this pain in my body that I didn't know why I had so much pain, and I just had my first baby. And I tried the EFT, and it was just tapping on the points. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to just follow this person online. And yes, and I felt so different. I'm like, this is magical. I can't believe it. Like, so fast. Really? Like, I was a little bit like, does this really work? Or,
you
and then
did
the more I
though.
did it, the more I felt better. And I did it on my own for a while, but I was always so intrigued. Like, how does this work? Is this like, I want to know more. I want to study this. And at that point, I didn't find the certification. I was just, following whatever was online, but always reading a lot. And then things happen for a reason.
Right.
I was at my last job, and I actually came back from my maternity leave after having my second baby, and that was during the pandemic. So things were very weird back then, and I went back to a position that was not mine anymore. It was a different position, reporting to a different person. So there was a lot of change, and things were not the same. They were not working. And I was putting my best because, yes, of course, I had two kids, pandemic. How can I risk my job? But I was suffering a lot too there. And even though I put my 100% and I was trying my best, things didn't work out, and I had to make the decision to leave that job. And yes, it was sad. I was like, okay, what am I gonna do now? And I started to look for jobs. Nothing was coming. And all of a sudden I got this email about EFT, and I attended the invitation of the program because they were offering the certification program. And I'm like, wow, this is what I really wanted to do for so many years. And I was looking for it back then, and I couldn't find like a program. And then it just came to me. I said, okay, I think this is meant to be. So I had the conversation with the coach that was having meetings. And I said, yes, I want to sign up. I didn't say anything to my family. After I sign up, I said, okay, I signed up for this program. Can you support me, please? Because I'm going to need help with my kids and I need to study. So I did that.
Well, and that's when You Flourish Coaching was born, right? Really, that was the
Yes.
beginning of You
Yes.
Flourish Coaching. And now you
Yes.
support other people so that they don't go through the same thing. And I love one of the things that you offer is no matter how your life is, all of us experience stress at some time. The level of stress may be higher or lower, but I love that you have a way to melt your stress in 5 minutes. So I put that up on the screen so that people can go to that. I mean, it's really 5 minutes, Elisa?
Yeah,
Five
five
minutes?
minutes. And in that, let's try it. And you let me know. You let me know if it works for you. But see if you notice something, even if it's a little bit, but notice like what can you accomplish in 5 minutes. And it's target to that, just to give you a taste and get you curious. Along with that, you will get the guide with more information about what's EFT, the points and everything. But I think it's an opportunity to try something different,
Yeah, I
something
think so
new
too.
if you haven't tried it. So yeah,
I
it
love
may
it.
sound too good to be true, but give it a try.
Well, it is one of those things that sounds too good to be true, but truly is as good as it sounds. Truly. So make sure you go to
I think so.
youflourishcoaching.com, free resources, and you will get the Melting Your Stress in 5 minutes. Elisa, if you had one suggestion to make to someone who's feeling on the edge, what would you say?
I would say you're not alone. This is not supposed to be done by yourself. You've done a lot already. So reach out for support. You need to reach out for support. And it's reaching for support, it's being strong. It's not the opposite. It's not being weak. So it's important because there are resources and there are ways for you to get out of this, to really enjoy your purpose in life.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, be sure to be in touch with Elisa at You Flourish Coaching. Get your melt your stress in 5 minutes so that you can figure out how to do that. And anytime you feel stressed, you can use it. Elisa, thank you so much for being with us today. I so appreciate you. And you are a beacon of hope for people who are struggling. And just know that there are resources to help you. Elisa's here to help you. Women's Prosperity Network is here to help you. Become a member for free at womensprosperityNetwork.com. Be sure to check out Elisa at You Flourish Coaching. And thank you all so much for being here today. Elisa, thank you again. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you,
Have a
Trish.
wonderful, yes, yes. Have a wonderful International Women's Day, everybody. Take care.
Yes, take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, everybody. Bye-bye.